All right, and stand by. Give it a minute here, and then we'll go ahead and get rolling. Thank you for your patience. All right, there's one. Stand by for just a moment here. Gonna give Fascist Tube a chance to send out notifications and such, and for people I know that are going to join, give them a moment to join here. So please be patient. Appreciate it. Blocking the camera. There we go. That should suffice. A makeshift little stand here. All right, so we will go ahead and get rolling here. So, welcome back to another episode of Liberty Under Attack Radio and the Viaje podcast. I'm not coming to you from Liberty Hill, Texas today. Checked out of that campsite this afternoon. Checked out today because they were booked up for the weekend. So, last night was good. Had no rain, great weather. I'm thinking low 50s at night. But yeah, no rain. That's the most important thing. Stayed up, drank some wine, listened to some podcasts, listened to music, and it was really, really relaxing evening. Certainly enjoyed it, and definitely something that I guess another night that I kind of needed. So, today I didn't get around to working out, but I did basically because I had to get everything, get the campsite packed up, and had to, I guess, resituate my car just a little bit to try to be organized come Sunday. Went off to drop this bad boy off at a storage unit, or at a storage location. So, got that taken care of. Was checked out of Tejas Camp by 10:30. Yeah, 10:30. And I went in town and charged up my laptop a little bit. Put up another post on Steemit, which I'm getting back to doing that now. Charged up my vape pen a little bit because it's primitive camping. There's no electricity there, and the problem that I ran into. Of course, there's always something, it seems, but the DC charger in my car stopped working within the past week, and that was what I used on the road trip down to Austin to charge all my devices. So I've had to kind of alternate between my phone and my vape pen and my stereo deck. So as you saw, my vape pen's currently charging. I'm actually live from some park in Austin, and not a whole lot of privacy. Certainly not. But I guess it may look like I'm just on a business call or something to the random passerbys and such. So, no beautiful scenery for this stream. I do apologize, but in order to do a piece of content, I had to do it here. So I drove for Postmates for about 4 hours today. It was okay. It was a little slower, which is surprising. Typically, it's a lot busier on Fridays, but it was hectic and chaotic. I said yesterday, it's not rush hour, it's rush hours, and it was like that for like 4 hours today. And most of the stops are in downtown Austin. There's no way I could really avoid it. So, kind of shitty. Definitely kind of shitty. And one reason I'm kind of looking forward to getting out of here. At least, that one reason. Dealing with traffic, it's always miserable. There's so many people packed into this small area. So, not much else to report. I'll be meeting up with my dad tonight. We'll go out to dinner, and then we'll be hanging out tomorrow. And Sunday, I will get everything finalized. I'll go get my insulin, so it has to be refrigerated. I'll go get that from Kyle's place, and then I will, get everything else. Probably drive for Postmates for a few hours during the afternoon and into the evening on Sunday, and then I'll head down to south of Austin to drop off my car. and then I'll Uber back over to where Henza and I are meeting up to stay for the night on Sunday, and then we'll get up at 3 a.m. and head to the border, and we're hoping to be in Mexico City by nightfall on Monday. So certainly a lot on the docket, but as far as today, there really weren't many updates. Checked out of the campsite and drove for Postmates, and now I'm just sitting in my car waiting for my dad to get here. So, and also one other thing too, but I'll talk about that here in a moment because it's relevant to the subject matter that I've chosen for tonight. It's something that I informed my patrons about probably back in April or May of this year. I guess it's a little different because that was VonuCoin. That was the main thing. I guess that was the Goliath of an idea that I was working on and kind of trying to bring into fruition. And it was going to be this one-stop shop, one-stop tool shop for vonuans or for vonuans or self-liberators or anything like that. And it just there's so much stuff I want to do with it, so much stuff, and I guess. Yeah, I guess actually let me back up for a moment here. Yeah, if you're here, go ahead and if you just drop a message in chat, tell me the audio is fine. I forgot to mention that here. Yeah, share the stream around and all that good stuff. I certainly do appreciate it. But yeah, so the first idea was VonuCoin, and Darklance, the subject of discussion for tonight, was going to be an element of that. But basically, with VonuCoin, we're trying to be as self-sufficient as possible and as decentralized as possible. So we were trying to avoid going through centralized exchanges, and plus for the exchanges that are free to list your coins, they typically have like 500 or 1,000 that are trying to get approved, and it's really, really difficult. They're very selective with their process. Now with things like Cryptopia, which they accept any damn coin out there, it seems. Back when we were looking at that back in April or May, it was like $250,000 to submit a coin to Cryptopia. So we aren't starting with that amount of capital here, not even close. So that wasn't really an option. So the first thing we're going to do, because people had to have a place to buy VonuCoin, was a decentralized exchange utilizing atomic swaps so that it can be decentralized and peer-to-peer and not involve third-party escrows. Well, unfortunately, that's still a very, very new technology. So for Bitcoin to Litecoin with coins that have similar, I guess, encryption schemes, I think it's similar encryption schemes or cryptography, you can do that. Like Bitcoin to Litecoin atomic swaps have happened, but the problem comes in when you're going from like Bitcoin, which is its own sort of structure, and then Monero, which is a cryptonote coin. So we were waiting for. I mean, we kind of had to wait for that technology anyway. So Matthew, my lead developer, and I talked about, we wanted to put something out. Like we wanted to work on something. We got sick of just talking about, and it was necessary. We talked every week for a long time, and the ideas in our plan going forward changed drastically week after week after we learned more and after we basically kind of honed in on what our objectives were and what they are. So we realized that we could launch Darklance before VonuCoin is in existence. So obviously, me being someone that wants to, I build the tools that I want to use. So I want to have a tool to use already. So that was the main idea: was we can put Darklance out without VonuCoin, and then I started talking to more Bitcoin maximalists and kind of looking into that I guess philosophy a little bit. And I'm kind of leaning more towards that now. So as of right now, I don't think VonuCoin is going to come into existence. But as far as right now goes, we're focusing on Darklance, and things have changed a lot in the 9 months I've been working on this. So it could change again. As far as the plans for VonuCoin, Darklance is the #1 project right now that we're working on. I mean, they're not even VonuCoin team meetings anymore; they're Darklance team meetings, which is actually happening here in about an hour and 50 minutes. So. Yeah, and I guess another thing with VonuCoin, the more I learned about, the insecurities with coins like Monero, even though they utilize, some of these really, really great privacy technologies, there's a reason they haven't been implemented in Bitcoin yet, and it's because it's, there are a lot of reasons. But I guess just another thing too, Monero being, in the top 10 on CoinMarketCap, it's still a very small transaction pool, very small. And Fluffy Pony, their main developer and spokesperson, and even articles that I've read from technology experts, I guess, even with Monero and things, there's still privacy problems, and that's an ongoing thing, and it's never going to be perfect. And then, yeah, like I said before, there's a smaller user pool, there's a small amount of transactions, so cryptanalysis is actually not that difficult on coins like Monero. So it's not actually as private as you think it is. And VonuCoin would be even smaller than Monero, and it would be largely centralized at the beginning until people start mining it, and until people start using it, and it'll never be as secure as Bitcoin. It'll always be vulnerable to 51% attacks. It will always be vulnerable to centralization, at least, and that's if we were able to bring in a large user base and such. So, and for the solution set we're going towards, it's not going to be a huge thing. Like, there's a lot of demand for decentralized exchanges. It's not going to be, it wouldn't be stuff like that. Like, the end goal is basically, for VonuCoin is, basically a one-stop shop for van nomads and vonuans and all those sorts of things. So it's already a very small fraction of individuals anyway. So I don't think VonuCoin would, I don't think I could consciously go forward with that project knowing that it would be insecure and not private, because that's kind of the one of the core components. Privacy is mandatory whenever it's possible to make it mandatory. We're not going to give people a choice, because people that choose, like for Zcash, for example, people that, if you look at the amount of what transactions are they called? We'll just call them, private transactions versus, open transactions. Not to be confused with that actual project that used to exist. But like 90% of people don't go with the private route. So those 10% that are actually trying to utilize that privacy, it's a smaller subset of already small subset of Zcash. So it's privacy as being mandatory is definitely a good thing. So enough about VonuCoin, because that's not the subject of tonight's discussion. But I want to kind of set the stage for those who had talked to me about VonuCoin and were familiar with it. I haven't really said much publicly about it because we're still trying to get things figured out, or we have been for quite some time, and I wanted to wait until ideas solidified more and we had a solid path going forward. So yes, the idea is Darklance, and Darklance will be an open source. Obviously, it's going to be open source without a doubt. Peer-to-peer, privacy-focused freelancing exchange for digital nomads. So the idea is, I'm sure some of you are familiar with Upwork and Freelancer. Those two huge platforms. I've done work on them before, but the problem is, there are a lot of problems. To really have a high chance of getting jobs, you pay for a membership, and that runs like $30 a month on Upwork, I think, which isn't too bad because one job you can make that back. It's not a big deal. But they take a certain percentage of each contract as well. So I think I have it in the rough draft of the white paper, but I think it's 10% up to $1,000 and 5% up to $10,000 for the contracts. So it's a significant amount of money, that they're taking as for fees, but basically just acting as middlemen connecting the freelancers to potential clients. So that's one thing. Another is privacy. When you go on those sites, you basically, I'm pretty sure, about 95% sure, at some point you have to, I know you do, you have to fill out is it a W-9, the independent contractor form. So if you make over $500, I think, they send that form off to the IRS. So that's not good. Some people want to pay the taxes, and that's fine, but I think people should have a choice, not just, just by using this platform, you don't have a choice. It's going to get sent off. So those are, I guess, two things. Trying to think if there are any other major disadvantages of those platforms. I really don't think. Don't think there are. But I guess those are the two big ones: privacy and the fees, the exorbitant fees that can be paid on sites like Freelance and Upwork. So Darklance is a solution to that problem. And I think there's a few selling points to it. But basically, I'll talk a little bit about the technology and how this thing is going to look. So Darklance will not only be a freelancer exchange, but it will also be a social media platform as well. We're looking at a technology called Scuttlebutt. It's actually developed by a guy who lives on a sailboat, and Scuttlebutt is a social media platform. We're looking at a couple different things, but this is regardless of which direction we go, this is what we're going to do. So it's going to be a freelancer platform with social media built in. and it's not. We don't want it to be like Fascist Book. We don't want it to be like that. Obviously, we don't have control over that. But we want it to be more kind of social networking. I don't know. I guess we kind of have our vision for it, but our vision doesn't really matter because people are going to take it the direction that they want to. But we don't want to turn into another Fascist Book. I guess that's just another selling point. If we can make this as user-friendly as we think we can, then people will have a decentralized peer-to-peer social media platform as well. So I guess that's just a side benefit of the thing. So we're looking at Scuttlebutt. There's one other one we're looking at is kind of the framework for this, the network for it. Regardless of which direction we go, we have to improve the user interface because it's a problem, guys. It's a major problem. There are these really awesome technologies that are out there, these really awesome open source projects, but they're almost always a shitty user experience, and that's a problem. So that'll be kind of the first thing we do with any of these is make the thing actually usable. Make it actually usable, because for most of these, it's very, very difficult. So I guess that'll kind of be the framework for Darklance and the social media platform too. And I suppose, yeah, so I guess talk about transactions then. So it'll be Bitcoin, Bitcoin only, at least, yeah, Bitcoin only. It's kind of where we're going for right now. And we're going to try to find some really privacy-focused wallet and just key into their API keys. So we can have, it's obviously the most secure and the most private possible is what we're going for. And there's Samurai Wallet, there's, oh gosh, there's a couple other ones too. There's a couple really privacy-focused Bitcoin wallets. We're going to try to just basically bake those into the freelancing platform. That's how freelancers get paid. That's how clients pay freelancers. So the privacy is still there with the transactions too, and it's using the most secure and most immutable blockchain out there. So let me see what else with I guess the way that this thing is going to come together. So obviously everything will be encrypted. There'll be encrypted messenger by default, instant messaging. If there's a way, and this is something we thought of a couple weeks ago, but a lot of times with projects, freelancers and clients have to actually have like an audio call or a video call or something like that. We've got a couple different options we're looking at for that, but we'll see. Skype was open source and peer-to-peer. Skype was peer-to-peer for a long time, so the video technology is not out of the question. We just have to figure out how we're going to do that. So you have text chat, definitely. Audio chats, probably, yeah, I'd say so. Video chat, possibly baked in, and hopefully we can run ZRTP or something like that. Maybe something like the Signal protocol for the Signal Messenger protocol on spy phones and Androids. Maybe we could utilize that technology. I'm not sure. I'm not a programmer. I guess I'm more kind of a big picture guy. I don't know. I don't know what I am. But so yeah, text, audio, video. And then obviously freelancers will have to send in, submit their work to the client they're working for. So with a couple of the ones we're looking at, file sharing is already a feature in it, so that's not a problem. But we'll probably we'll need to, we'll have it as an option. So there'll be encrypted file sharing, or I guess from the start. But we're going to also encourage. And this is just extra security culture. Well, we will encourage people to encrypt and sign the documents using GPG, or pretty good privacy. So yeah, very, very privacy focused. So all that stuff will be there, encryption, file sharing, all that sort of stuff. Now let's talk about the reputation system a little bit. So obviously the rate and review system that like Etsy and eBay and all these other platforms have, those are very effective. Very effective. And they have been for a long time. If someone has 1 star, you probably aren't going to buy from them, and you probably shouldn't buy from them. If someone has 5 stars with 100 reviews, you can probably feel pretty confident that transaction is going to be beneficial for both of you. So that'll be kind of the second layer for what we're trying to do with the framework of Darklance. Sorry, Darklance. Forget about VonuCoin. So we're going to be using something called a circle. I guess we're going to implement a circle of trust in there. So basically, and this is hard. It's not hard to explain. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So basically, like people that you know firsthand that you're very close to, those would be in your first circle of trust. So like me, Jason Henza, Jason Booth, Jason Paradise, Kyle Reardon. I mean, those would all be people in my first circle of trust. Now I could say that Jason knows Allie, and trust her, but I don't know her directly. That's my second layer of my circle of trust. I can probably feel pretty reasonably certain that if I do a transaction with her, if I want to hire her for some freelance work, I can feel pretty confident that if Jason associates with her, I know he only associates with people of upstanding character. I feel pretty confident that it's going to be beneficial for both of us, and the job's going to get done well. And obviously the further away you get out from your circle of trust, the more you'll have to rely upon rates and reviews. So obviously I think a lot of people will just go straight towards the rate and reviews, which is fine, but we're going to emphasize security culture throughout the entire process. We're going to give our users a working knowledge of the encryption that they're using on the platform, so that they can apply it to other aspects of their lives, because security culture is not just something that happens on Darklance, it's a lifestyle. So yeah, we'll put together a bunch of guides, a bunch of information sort of stuff, a lot of documentation, teaching our users about security culture and privacy, and we'll certainly inform them of the risk of going outside of like a second or third layer of the circle of trust. And there could be some issues with that. There are just in day-to-day life with that sort of thing. So. Let me see if there's anything else I want to mention about security culture. I don't think so. On that note. Let me see what else I got here. So yeah, okay. So I guess the selling points for Darklance, and I've already kind of mentioned the problems, but these are the solutions. So Darklance, it'll be decentralized. Actually, let me back up and describe the way that's Scuttlebutt. And these other, I guess, possible frameworks we're using. This is important. This speaks to the decentralized aspect to it. But so, like for Scuttlebutt, this guy lives on a sailboat. So his idea was basically like, so let's say Darklance exists. It's already working, and I want to check to see what writing jobs have been posted since 2 days ago. So I connect to the internet, or the mesh network, whatever's there. I connect to the internet, and it downloads all of the job posts that have been posted in 2 days for writing, and it downloads them onto my own computer, so I can view them offline. So that's a huge. I mean, that's a pretty huge thing. That's kind of the social media aspect too. With Scuttlebutt is you basically log on to a pub is what they call it, but basically you're connecting to a server. You download all the posts, and then if you go to a place like if you're at Tejas Camp without internet, you can scroll through all of the posts from your friends on social media, reply to it, all that sort of stuff, and then once you connect back to the internet, it gets updated and it downloads on your friends' computers. So it's all stored locally. It's all stored locally. Now, there will be other roles for decentralization. Like people will, just to increase the security of the network. And I feel like this will be a job on the platform itself, but just republishing those job postings to other places. So the decentralization thing is easy as taken care of. For those that are familiar with DTube, IPFS, the interplanetary file storage. It's similar to what we're talking about here, just a different purpose. We're not storing videos or audio files or anything like that. We're just storing, very small job postings, right? Just very small text files and maybe a picture or something like that. So similar concept with how this thing's going to work. And like I said, if I was at Tejas Camp and I was looking for work, it'd be really awesome to just be able to scroll through there, and I'd go ahead and reply to the jobs. I'd upload, some sample pieces, and I'd hit submit. And then once I connect back to the internet, it sends it back to the person who's looking to hire the freelancer. So that's kind of the idea of it. Jason, I love the circle of trust and rating and review aspect. That's going to be huge. You're going to eliminate shysters and thieves. Yeah, if you follow the security culture guides we put out there, it'll be very, very difficult for you to get scammed. Very, very difficult. So selling points. Privacy is obviously one of the selling points, and like I said, no W-9s. We're not gonna keep a document on file and send off to the IRS if we make more than $500. We won't know how much you make because we won't have access to that information. No one will, except for you. So no W-9s, low fees. So I mentioned the ridiculous fees for Upwork and Freelancer. And there are going to be fees on the platform. I mean, we're going to fund development. We're going to fund our developers now, and we're trying to make this a side hustle at least, right? So we're going to try to make some money off of it. And then, so yeah, 50% will go towards developers and things like that, and the other half will go towards community development. So if someone has a really cool innovation they want to add into to Darklance, we'll already have a self-funding mechanism where we can fund projects that are interesting, and that are beneficial to the project and that are in line with Vonu, generally speaking. So, so there'll be a funding mechanism for the thing, which is great. And then the security culture for vonuans, for digital nomads. I mean, security culture for van nomads generally isn't a big deal, but for vonuans, it's definitely a huge deal. It's a huge selling point. So, yeah, I guess that's basically all I have there. Just wanted to give a general overview, and I'm sure I missed some things. But regardless, you should have a better idea. So yeah, obviously I want a platform like this. I certainly want a platform like this to use because Upwork and Freelancer, there's a lot of problems with it. And I don't know. We need our own solutions. We need our own solutions where we can, be free and freelancing exchange platform with with security culture in mind. So. That's kind of the idea. And yeah, like I said, I actually have a Darklance meeting here in about an hour and a half, so probably get off here shortly and eat some food and then prepare for that. It's been 2 weeks since we've 2 weeks since we've met. So yeah, I guess I got 3 people viewing. Are there any questions or any other comments or anything of the sort regarding Darklance or El Viaje Acapulco or anything like that? And while people might be typing in, I'll go ahead and mention. So obviously, I'm going to try to do a live stream every day. Might not do one tomorrow because I'll be with my dad, but regardless, I'm going to try to do live streams every day about 5 or 6 p.m. Central Time. Seems like a good time to do it, and a very easy time for me to easy time to make time to do it. Sounds weird, but yeah, I'll do these every day. But there's also going to be some Patreon only content. Such as documentary or series, video series on El Viaje Acapulco. So, yeah, if you want to get on board there, patreon.com/Vonu. Not only will you get access to that, but you also get access to an early digital access to my book, Vonu: A Strategy for Self-Liberation. You'll get exclusive access to a bunch of episodes and all sorts of stuff like that. So, certainly do consider hopping on board. Just $2 a month, and certainly do appreciate the support. So Paul, very interested in learning more about this. Great to hear, man. Yeah, I think there are quite a few folks that we have in our network that could greatly benefit from a platform like this. I really do, and yeah, I'm excited to get it put out there. Really excited to get it put out there, and I guess thankfully I'm not gonna say a time frame at this point, but really, once we get a couple more technological particulars down, which isn't really my job. They just kind of explain things to me in a very stupid way so that I can understand it. I'm probably beating up on myself a little too much. It's complicated stuff. It's really complicated stuff. But we'll talk about that tonight and hopefully put together an updated plan of action, and we'll see what we can do. But the good thing is, whether it's Scuttlebutt or there's a couple other ones we're looking at, I don't remember the names offhand, but the framework's there. So we just have to update the user interface. We have to tweak some code. But, yeah, sorry, reading the chat. But yeah, we got to work out, we won't have to start from scratch, I guess, is what I'm saying. The platform and the protocol, the network is already there. So we've just got to make it work for our particular implementation of it. So it's, yeah, it shouldn't be too much longer. I mean, it's been, like, these projects take time, and like any new open source project like this takes time, especially considering we're unpaid, it's volunteer work right now, and considering I don't know what the hell I'm doing with this sort of stuff. I just wanted these tools to exist, and no one else was doing it, so I decided, hey, I'll take charge and try to bring this into fruition. and I'm not going to take no for an answer, so it might just take a little more time. It's only been 10 months now, so yeah, it'll come, and I think it'll be a really, really powerful thing, and it'll expand far beyond, I hope, expand beyond just vonuans and anarchists. I hope it's something that can be attractive to just digital nomads out there now, like the van nomads that I follow on YouTube that do a lot of digital nomadism. Because yeah, if you consider, you know, if someone's living on $750 a month as a van nomad, and they're paying, and they're doing like maybe 10 jobs on $10 jobs on Upwork in a month, and those are all those are all a couple $100 jobs or something like that. If they're taking 10% of that, and it's like $20 off each contract, imagine that's a couple $100 right there, you know. So I think it could I think it could reach far beyond just our people, so to speak. So yeah, let me see here. So Paul, come on your show and tell you more about it. Oh, yeah, for sure, man, for sure. Yeah, let me get settled into Acapulco first, so I can get my my good audio back, and then yeah, we can make that happen, man. Jason, you should put together a Facebook post with the basic outline of the ideas you mentioned and names you dropped. I should, yes. I'll put that on my to-do list. If you could shoot me a message on Telegram, actually no, I'll just look through the chat and do it after on YouTube. I will do that. I think it's a very good idea. Have I talked to MD about this? No, I have not. I was going to, for Vonu coin generally, I was going to, since it was going to be a crypto coin and here at least Bitcoin, I was going to, you know, once we got our shit together, to put it bluntly, I was going to see if he wanted to come on as a consultant. But yeah, I should probably talk to him about it. Probably should. Probably a good idea. Yeah, and he has worked with coders. Unfortunately, the one he uses is super busy, so won't be able to get him on board. But do have already have a very, very great team. I'm not going to say who yet. I mentioned Matthew. He's my lead developer, and we just brought in a new developer probably a month ago. And if you guys have been to the Midwest PSMD Fest, you might know who he is. He used to live in Michigan, and then a couple other folks. We've got a business analyst. He's been busy, hasn't been able to make many meetings, and then have one other developer who will be more kind of work on the website and also do some marketing for us. So we've got a team put together already. It's still unpaid, so it's hard to we got responsibilities and paid things we have to take care of. So that's another reason it's going to it takes a little time. Is we can't devote 40 hours a week to this or 60 hours a week. It's just kind of we get together and talk for a couple hours on Friday nights, and that's basically it. So yeah, it'll be interesting, guys. Hope you're looking forward to that. And yeah, I don't really have too much else. Let's see, Jason. Unrelated, only bring it up because I just checked, but a MathBot update. Things are still happening. Bugs are getting fixed. New features are being added. Once you complete a level, I think you can share. Like you click a post to share it on Fascist Book and Twitter now and such. So yeah, there's some small tweaks and updates happening. There's always bug fixes. And obviously JW's getting out there on podcasts and talking about it and why it's necessary in a much more eloquent way than I could, and with a lot more firsthand experience. So yeah, things are progressing. I think he said in the last interview he did with Danilo Cuellar that the Bitcoin implementation where grandma could toss in $50 a $50 reward if Johnny finishes calculus or something like that. That is, like you said, at least a few months out, possibly. So that's getting closer to. But yeah, things are happening there as well. And that's an open source project too. So if you know any homeschoolers or unschoolers or anything like that, or I guess basically any child or adult that wants to learn math by playing a fun game, then yeah, mathbot.com. It's you can also learn some programming too. So. Certainly recommend everyone check out that. So yes, Paul, I feel like I have to have like Fascist Book, Fascist Tube, Twatter, and like for all the bad platforms that we use, gotta have some sort of a derisive name. But any thoughts on Linux, SJW? Oh, are you talking? Oh, okay. I know you're talking. The general understanding of what you're talking about, but basically SJW stuff going on with Linux. I don't know all the details to it. I did see something about it, but I mean, regardless of what happens, Linux is open source, and there are always forks. I mean, Linux isn't going to disappear. I probably should look into that a little more, because I did see a couple folks, couple prominent folks, tech folks, talk about it. But yeah, I haven't followed it too much. I haven't had much time to follow this stuff in a month or so. I've been busy preparing for the trip to Acapulco, and then also is IP involved in the Linux thing. Ooh, that's unfortunate. But yeah, I'll have to look into that. If you have any podcast recommendations or anything, send them over. Talking about the subject. I'm sure Brian Sovereign talked about it. I should go back and search through his, although I'll get a little different perspective from him, I think. Yeah, I'll take a look at it. I will take a look at it. But yeah, as far as I guess the last thing for Darklance is if you know anyone, we're not really at the stage for marketing and public relations now. But I mean, if you've got some, I mean, hell, all these, it's an open source project, so all of these meetings, anyone can join. So if you want to join on just to hear us talk about, what's going on with the project, if you have questions, if you have suggestions, recommendations, anything like that, please do consider joining the call. It's open source. We do it, it'll be on Skype, unfortunately. So, yeah, or I guess if you're a developer, coder, something like that, I mean, sure. I mean, it's open source. We're always looking for contributors, and down the road, hopefully we can. If we get the platform up, I think, like I said, I think it sells itself. But hopefully we can get some money for it too, for creating something of value. And yeah, love the name. I do too, and I didn't come up with it. All credit goes to Matthew there. This was his kind of. This kind of his idea after he listened to a bunch of episodes of the Vonu podcast. He's like, "Have you thought about this?" I was like, "Something similar with VonuCoin, yeah, but not a freelancing platform, huh?" So yeah, Darklance, and I think Bodhi is working on a logo for it. I gave him free reign to do whatever, so it's good. I'm looking forward to it. He's come out with some really awesome stuff. And I've got a visual way for me, but I kind of gave him like the gist of like a sentence explanation of what Darklance was, and I said run with it. And he's like, that's not much information, but if he can convey that in a picture, that's in a logo, that's what we're looking for. So yeah, I should probably hop off here though and get some food and then prepare for the Darklance meeting. If any of you are interested in joining, just please drop in chat or message me or anything like that. And I will get you added to the call, and we can talk Darklance even more in depth. And you can hear these brilliant folks talk. You think I sound smart? You wait. So, yeah, can't go wrong with Bodhi for sure. Definitely can't. So, all right, guys, that's all for me. Patreon.com/Vonu if you want to help support this podcast and get even more exclusive bonus content. Podcast should start coming out here in a couple of weeks once I get settled into Acapulco with semi-reliable Wi-Fi. And yeah, probably no stream tomorrow. We'll see. And Sunday I will probably do maybe a live stream with Hinza. Once we meet up. That'll be tomorrow evening, though, probably like 10 p.m. So might push the stream back till then on Sunday. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and we will talk soon. Hope you guys have a great rest of your evening.